Hi, everyone. My presentation will be about me attending 3 different universities in 3 years. So to start off, I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever had to move to a new place and start over from scratch? Well, imagine having it to do it 3 times in 3 years. So what I'm going to be going over is some background information about myself, time at the University of New Mexico, and time at Xavier University, and my opportunity with finding UVU, and then I'll be closing. So here's some background about myself. My name's Luke McCollough. I'm currently 21 years old. I'm from San Diego, California. I was not born there though. I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada until I was 12, and then I moved there with my family. I've been playing baseball my whole life, and I played a lot. I played all 4 years varsity during high school, and I graduated from Coronado High School in 2019. And currently I'm a junior here at UVU, and I am studying business management. And in that picture, I'm in the middle. That's me graduating with 2 of my good friends. So starting off with the University of New Mexico, I committed to the University of New Mexico, which is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I committed there for baseball during October of my senior year of high school. And I was basically committed for about 10 months before I eventually arrived there, which was in August of 2019. And at the time, I was also starting a long distance relationship with my girlfriend, who was also from high school, but she was going to another college in a different part of the country. So immediately I had a lot of struggles at UNM. The coaches left out a lot of information that would have honestly made me change where I committed to. When I got there, there was 65 guys going for 35 spots, pitchers. And they never told me that. So when I got there, I had absolutely no idea that there would be this many people. And that was actually really tough on me because I thought I was going to be taken care of there, and I thought it wouldn't have to be really an open tryout for going to school there. The workload was horrible. We had lift and practice upwards of 7 days a week, which is extremely illegal by the NCAA. We had to weight lift starting at 6 a.m., but if you weren't there by 5:30, you were punished. And then we also had to condition on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as have these inter-squad practices on the weekends that could last up to 12 hours. And on top of that, I had a huge amount of homework to do all the time. And I had a lot of relationship problems with my girlfriend at the time as well. And I was in the worst mental state I've ever been in my life. And I even though in that picture that's with my mom, I look happy there. She had to fly out to New Mexico from San Diego because I was doing so poorly, and I needed my mom there when I was in the worst mental state of my life. And then the city, Albuquerque, I disliked it more and more every day. I just could not see myself staying there for 3 more years after my freshman year. And it was just honestly a very dangerous place to be. For example, one of my teammates before I committed there at the University of New Mexico was shot and killed a few months before I ended up arriving at school. So that's just an awful area to be in. And then this led to my fall meeting, and I was given two choices by the head coach and all the other pitching coaches and stuff. Those choices were, okay, you could go to a junior college and come back to UNM, or I could gray shirt. And basically gray shirting is like, okay, I'd still be on the roster technically, but I wouldn't be able to practice with the team, use the team facilities, work out with the team, stuff like that. So I couldn't see myself getting better. And then I ended up deciding to take neither of these options because I didn't like Albuquerque. I didn't like University of New Mexico. And then I entered the transfer portal November 2019. And for those of you who don't know what the transfer portal is, for NCAA athletes, you enter the transfer portal, and you are technically released from your college, and then you could email other universities, and other universities could contact you. And then so new opportunities for me. I was contacted by many schools in this time, and I consider the JUCO route, but this didn't end up working out for me because I found out that coming from a Division I university, I would have had to do 2 years at the JUCO and get my AA before I could head back to Division I baseball. And this isn't something I wanted. I wanted it to be just short term, and move straight back into Division I. And so I ended up wanting to play for a Division I school. And funny enough, my number one choice was University of Utah at the time, but I was talking with them and I was ready to commit there until they told me I would have to gray shirt as well. And this was tough news to hear because I really wanted to go there. But then luckily I had other options, and I chose Xavier University out in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was very proud of myself because that was the worst adversity I've ever faced. And I didn't quit, and I kept on pursuing my dream of playing Division I college baseball. So at Xavier, I had a great start. I moved in January 2020. The drive across the country was brutal from San Diego, but it was all worth it. I excelled in team practices and scrimmages. I was throwing great for the first time in a while. And I was actually given a spot on the travel roster before the start of the season. But here's where things went downhill for me once again. I was determined ineligible by the NCAA rules. So because I was a mid-year transfer, so I transferred in between the fall semester and spring semester from a Division I school to a Division I school. They deemed me ineligible. And then COVID-19 happened immediately, like a few weeks after I was deemed ineligible, and the season was canceled, and I had to move back to San Diego for the time being. So I had to drive across the country twice in about 2 months. So that was brutal, but it's an experience I'm never going to forget. My return to Xavier University. So I returned to Xavier in fall of 2020, and I had a very average fall. I mean, there wasn't anything really good about it. I didn't necessarily do bad either, so that left me kind of in the bottom ground towards the coaches because I wasn't able to excel. And it turned out in the season I didn't get an opportunity, except for one game. I got to pitch in one game against the University of Cincinnati where we were losing by 14 runs, and I only got to pitch 2/3 of an inning. So, and because of that, I lost a year of eligibility, which was really frustrating on my end because if that didn't happen, I'd still be technically a freshman with the first year being ineligible as well. And then I had a very unfortunate conversation with the head coach. I went up to his office because I was frustrated with my playing time at the time. And I asked him, coach, where am I going to be in terms of like the team's future, and like what do I have to do to be part of this team and be better? And then he ended up telling me, Luke, you're not going to be a huge part of the future, and in the fall you're actually going to have to basically try out for a roster spot, and if you want to transfer and go somewhere else to get more security, that's something we could do. We'll support it. But if you want to come back to Xavier in fall of 2021, you're basically going to have to try out to get a roster spot. And knowing this, I was like, man, I don't want to have to transfer schools again in the middle of the semester if I don't make the team. So I decided to enter the transfer portal again in May 2021. Road to Utah Valley University. Very, very competitive transfer portal at the time. There was over 2,000 NCAA Division One baseball players who were in the transfer portal because of the new rules that the NCAA allowed. So they basically said, okay, you get a free transfer, which they haven't done in a long time. Normally you have to sit out after you transfer. So doing this new rule, everyone was like, okay, I'm going to transfer now because I don't have to sit out. So this made it very competitive when trying to reach out to coaches, because there was thousands of other there was a couple like yeah there was thousands of other kids who also reached out to many other coaches. And then I actually got the opportunity to train at Driveline, which is it's a weighted ball thing I'm a pitcher, so it helps me increase velocity and stuff. And that was in Seattle, Washington. And from that, I increased fastball velocity from 87 miles per hour to 91 miles per hour, which doesn't look huge, but it was a huge jump getting into that 90-mile-per-hour club. And then during summer ball, I played in the summer league back home in San Diego, and I performed at a very high level. And it was honestly the best I've ever looked in my baseball career. And I received multiple offers, and it came down between Utah Valley and Eastern Michigan. And in the end, I chose UVU because UVU is closer to home to me. It's cheaper, and we were bringing all the coaching staff is new here, so there wouldn't be favorites when determining who's going to get playing time because everyone's brand new to each other. So all in all, I didn't quit on myself after facing adversity again. I believed in myself, and I knew I knew that I could do it. So college has been anything but easy for me. I'm sure most of you guys could agree with that. And something that I really look at is finding the strength to never give. It's something that you need to really look at is finding the strength to never give up on yourself. When times are hard, you just know you got to power through it, and you know you're actually capable of doing more things than you think you can. And if you believe in yourself, you're gonna surprise yourself and surprise some other people. It's been a horrible experience for me. There's been a lot of downs, but a few ups, and I wouldn't change it for anything because it's made me a better person of who I am today, and also a stronger athlete. Now I know what to expect from college coaches and everything. It's basically a business, and that's just the way it is. But it doesn't matter where you start from; it matters where you end up. And this could go with anything. It could go with where your job, where you live, where you go to school. For my case, I started in a tough place, thought I had it worked out, ended up not being another situation, but now I'm here at UVU and things are looking up a lot for me. And I just want to say that you guys, this is very important to know. And thank you so much for watching this presentation, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.